kind of love that all these years can't wash away. 'Cause the older that I get, I see that life is short and bittersweet. Thank God for this Thanksgiving Day.
Hello, and welcome to episode 5.8, the November 26th, 2025 Mince Pie edition of Notes from the Aisle Seat, the podcast that covers the arts in northern Chautauqua County, sponsored by the 1891 Fredonia Opera House. My name is Tom Laughlin, and I'm your host as we bring you news and information about arts events at the Opera House and around the region, including interviews with artists and creators across the county. I will maintain to my last breath that the best part of Thanksgiving is the pie. You can have your turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and all that jazz. Just leave me the pie. Mince pie happens to be one of my favorites, but it's so hard to choose just one. So every Thanksgiving I try to have 3 pies on board. This year it will be apple, pumpkin, and mince. With whipped cream, of course. To quote David Mamet, stress cannot exist in the presence of a pie.
So fill your plate and fill your drink, put your dishes in the kitchen sink and let the leftover year just wash away.
Name me a successful arts organization, and I'll wager there's an unheralded but superb arts administrator on their staff. The 1891 Fredonia Opera House this year has been fortunate to pair its superb executive director, Mr. Rick Davis, with a Springboard Fellow from Arts Services Incorporated of Western New York. I spoke with Reese Holahan, the Springboard Fellow, and the Program and Outreach Coordinator, Gaitrie Subryan, about this partnership. Joining me now to talk about something that the 1891 Fredonia Opera House has become involved in recently is the Arts Services Incorporated of Western New York. And I have with me 2 guests who are part of that process. The first one is Gaitrie Subryan. She is the Programs and Outreach Coordinator over at Arts Services Incorporated. Gaitrie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here, Tom.
Oh, you bet. And also, the 1891 Opera House managed to get one of the Springboard Fellowships for 2025. And our Springboard Fellowship person is Reese Holahan, and he's been working at the Opera House alongside Rick Davis. So, Reese, welcome as well.
Thank you, Tom. It's great to be here.
Great. Now let's get a start here from you, Gaitrie, since you are, the coordinator of all of this, and Reese is a Springboard Fellow. And can you explain a little bit about what Arts Services Incorporated does with these Springboard Fellows, what they're about, and how they serve the Western New York arts community?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, at ASI, we firmly believe that the arts belong to everyone. We empower the region's artists and arts organizations with connections to funding, learning opportunities, and community access to the arts. We're pretty much a resource hub for the 5 counties of Western New York and cultural sector. With this particular fellowship, it's in 3rd iteration, its 3rd year. It is designed to empower emerging arts and cultural professionals in Western New York by pairing them with local nonprofit organizations for paid hands-on experience. This isn't just another internship. It's paid, it's mentored, and it's equity focused. Pretty much we're leveling the playing field with this fellowship.
Yeah, that's a good thing because I've read so many stories about the abuses of interns in the world of arts, and it's finally got enough due attention to have from my aspect, theater organizations, but many arts organizations to get their people like interns and fellowships and stuff paid rather than just working for free, and that's a significant leap. What other kinds of things does arts service organizations? I know they have many different kinds of funding sources. I've looked at your website and seen a number of them. them. So they're a very expansive organization in Western New York.
Yes, absolutely. So, on top of the Springboard Fellowship, we also offer webinars and in-person sessions for professional development. It's called From the Ground Up. We also have an incredible medal program with executives in the area who are entering or just need some insight into being an executive director. Um, Additionally, we were one of the arts organizations that really helped kicked off the murals in the area. So every 2 years we hold the Hurdle Alley Mural Fest. It's become a really big thing. Public art is another big aspect of the organization, just working with the council members and elected officials to get mural work into our communities. And then one other aspect within my job that I really enjoy is actually overseeing Chill Sessions, which is a bi-monthly event where artists come and share their stories. So there's a lot of areas where ASI does so much work, and it's a wonderful team of people. It's a small organization, but we're all in it.
That's great. Wonderful. Now let's turn to you, Reese. You have been working at the 1891 Fredonia Opera House now in this fellowship position, and give us a little overview on what it is that you've been doing.
Yeah, sure thing. So it's kind of beautiful because it's a little bit of everything, and it's obviously a kind of limited time in terms of the scope of the fellowship. But basically, I just do whatever it is the Opera House needs, whatever Rick needs, especially with regards to a couple key points, and that's the some community outreach just within our community there in northern Chautauqua County, community groups as well as student groups at SUNY Fredonia. So we've been working to kind of create a couple more bridges between SUNY Fredonia and the Opera House to promote some of the events that we already have and to kind of brainstorm and think about how we can better serve the community. Part of that has involved working on some survey and feedback work to reach out to the community and reach out to the students at SUNY Fredonia to find what it is that we can be doing at the Opera House to best serve that community.
And have you gotten any kind of feedback or results from any of the things you've been doing yet? I've been curious to know what they would be.
Yeah, well, we're going to play it close to the chest for right now because our survey closes at the end of November. So we have a kind of a contest out there where you've got a chance to win some free tickets if you go fill out our survey. And we'll kind of have the results of that all starting in the early December period. But so far, we've gotten a lot of great feedback, specifically from our the new seats that we've put into the theater in the last year, and people love the seats and they love a lot of what we're doing, but we're interested in a lot of the small components that we might be able to change to kind of move us forward and keep people coming back.
You graduated from SUNY Fredonia with degrees in vocal performance and voice and music and all of that. How do you feel this fellowship is helping you, bridge your career between your interest in arts administration, but also your own personal interest as a musician?
Yeah, that's a great question. To be honest, like we were touching on it earlier, it's daunting and it can be a little bit scary going into the professional world of the arts. If you've attended a university, and I now hold a couple degrees in performance and music and the arts specifically, you spend a whole lot of time learning how to be an artist and do the things that cultivate your own art. But that's a great thing. But unfortunately, sometimes it feels like we need to bridge that gap, like you say, between being an artist and working in the arts. So it's been really great because there's a lot of things that are scary and daunting to step into, but if I have a chance like this to be mentored and see what it's really like and get an idea of what is it that I need to improve upon myself or capitalize upon to move me forward in the professional sphere, it's just a really great opportunity to do that.
Uh, and Gayatri, I'm going to ask you the same question actually, because I know that you're a dancer. And you have a little small dance company, I believe, a Devi Art dance company, where you specialize in Indian dance form, which is a fantastic, interesting form of dance. How do you bridge the gap between what you're doing in arts administration, getting funding for artists out there, and your own arts world?
That's a great question. Yes, I am a dancer choreographer. I run a dance studio as well as a company that I've been overseeing for 13 years. And it's been quite an experience, especially going from being an artist to an arts administrator. It is challenging at times, but I think that one thing that I truly love about this is the ability to continue to network and build community. With that being my core mission for Devi Performing Arts, I am always looking to find ways to get community connected, build this relationship between artists and the community members. So in this position, I feel that it's been really helpful. I was also a Creatives Rebuild New York Fellow, where I got to work in a little bit further into the outskirts of Western New York, so the Glow region, Genesee, Livingston, Orleans, and Wyoming County.
Mm-hmm.
And then here at ASI, I work with the five counties. I work with Erie, Niagara, Allegheny, Cattaraugus, and Chautauqua. So it's just helping to create new pathways for me to make deeper connections in this Western New York area. I was also a Springboard Fellow myself in 2024, where I work with the Buffalo Society of Artists. One thing about me from the beginning as an entrepreneur, I've always been very disciplined, and I guess that's from my training in Indian classical dance and just dance forms from India. And I've always had this way of being able to manage some of the logistical things and business aspects of running my own business,
Mm-hmm.
but it reinforced what I was capable of doing, right? And staying in that direction. Sometimes you're so siloed as an artist that your skill set, you're just like, is this right? Is this good? Is this okay? Like, am I doing this right? And this experience that I had as a Springboard Fellow, as well as working here at ASI, has just reassured me that I'm doing the right things. I'm on the right path. And as artists, we're constantly questioning our ability. So just being able to see some of the things that I have done over the past couple of years, and to be able to hone in a little bit more on those professional skills. It's just been a really good experience. So.
And how satisfying has it been for you to be able to empower BIPOC people of color who are trying to create their own art in this particular region? I'm sure that must be a challenge as well.
It is. It can be very challenging, but I've been able to work with some incredible artists through the chill sessions that I oversee, the bi-monthly chill sessions. I've been able to help to provide a platform so their voices are more amplified and heard. And that's just an opportunity for them to share their stories. So being able to do things like that and to let them see and recognize that their story is important, their voice is heard, and they are seen, that's just something that I envision to continue to do, whether here or outside of here, my performing arts studio. So just keeping that as my mission and goal.
Great. And Reese, let me sort of ask you that sort of same question, but with a little different twist to it. You're now in a region where the demographic is completely different. The Opera House obviously scales to a much older demographic. And I'm wondering, as a young person yourself, what you're seeing in the region that you think might be some of the challenges that are facing the Opera House and how they might meet those challenges going forward.
Yeah, sure thing. So it's interesting because I do believe firmly that the Opera House should be for everyone, and just like the arts should be for everyone, we should cultivate a space where everyone feels like they're welcome, regardless of where they come from, what ethnic background, race, creed, anything. But that also refers to age, right? And we're in an area where there is an older population that makes up a lot of our kind of primary patronage, but there's also a massive influx of students that come from August until May every year, and we want to cater to both of those groups, and not necessarily exclusively. We're looking to find ways that our programming can appeal to both groups. But what that means is taking into account, for example, scheduling around the university schedule and their events that take place, as well as scheduling around the practical requirements of travel in Western New York, as we know, can be a little bit hairy, and that is kind of amplified in groups that include seniors, right? And so one of the big holdups we found in some of the feedback we've received is that a lot of folks don't like traveling at night if they have to travel to events at the Opera House, and especially if you're traveling through a snowstorm, it's just kind of a non-starter. So a lot of the consensus is we need to think about how we can position some of our programming to bring that audience in. And luckily, there are already things in our programming that work for that. Our Saturday afternoon Arts in the Afternoon programming, which include a couple. That's a good opportunity for me to plug our partnership with SUNY Fredonia, where we have Don Narazzo, the head of opera studies. He'll be coming in and doing some pre-show talks for three of the Met Live broadcasts starting actually this Saturday, which I think will be maybe after this airs, but we have another one coming in December and one in May as well. Those are events that we're really excited about because hopefully it's an opportunity for students to enjoy, it's the partnership with SUNY Fredonia, but also for the greater community, especially our kind of older audience, to get out in the middle of the afternoon and see something that's new and different that we haven't offered before, and then get home before it gets dark and snowy again.
Gaitrie, what do you see as the challenges for, your next upcoming round of fundraising and so on like that? I mean, it's challenging in this environment, and with this particular administration, we're seeing funding cuts all over the place. What are you seeing is going to be the major challenges for you going forward in, say, the next 2, 3 years for the organization?
Unfortunately, I can't speak on behalf of the entire organization. I know with this particular fellowship, we do have our supporters, the Rich Family Community Committee who supports the Springboard Fellowship. So my goal for 2026, when we restart the next round of the fellowship, and typically that happens in, when do I start working on it? I start working on it in February, March.
Mhm.
But of course, we're constantly reaching out to potential sponsors and donors. My goal and my hope is that we can continue to expand the program, and have more sponsors be willing to help support this fellowship. And so the next round of applications for 2026 should go out to the organizations typically by May. And then we launch fellowship applications mid-July, end of June, mid-July, somewhere around there. So depending on what the schedule looks like for us. And we do serve the 5 counties. So ideally, it would be great to have an organization or a community foundation really help to propel this fellowship a little further that is based out in the southern tier, right? And having those relationships and partnerships start to develop a little deeper down there. So I've been making trips
Good.
to do my best as much as I can. I went out to Allegheny, I went out to Fredonia while we were going through the application process, to connect with the community and to just see what is in the area and who's in the area. So hopefully something comes about for 2026.
Let me thank you both for the work that you're doing. Gaitrie, thank you very much for coming on, and I wish you the best of luck in finding those funding opportunities for the organization. I hope you get them.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And Reese, good luck. If arts administration is a thing that's attracting you, by all means, it's a challenging field, but a very satisfying one.
Well, thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you both for joining me. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to you at some other time. It's a very interesting conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
If you would like more information on Art Services Incorporated and their various programs and funding opportunities, or if you'd like to partner with ASI as a funding partner, information is linked at the bottom of the show notes. And if you haven't done so yet, please consider taking our survey to share your preferences and experiences. which closes on November 30th, for a chance to win 2 free tickets to the Opera House Cinema Series. You can do that by scanning the QR code or clicking the link at the bottom of the show notes.
Ring a ding a ding a ding ding dong, ring a ding a ding 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 dong ding dong.
The Doo-Wop Project, a collection of Broadway veterans who banded together to form a doo-wop show, will be bringing their holiday show, A Doo-Wop Christmas, to the Rockefeller Arts Center on Thursday, December 11th at 7:30 p.m. I had the chance to speak with Dominic Nolfi, one of the members of the group, about his experiences. If you're of my generation, you're as old as I am, just, kind of limping around and stuff, you really ought to get to the Rockefeller Art Center because you're going to have a great time listening to the Doo-Wop Project. They are throwbacks from 40, 50 years ago, the great oldies doo-wop generation. And with me now is Dominic Nolfi. Dominic is one of the members of the Doo-Wop Project, and he's going to be one of the singers. And they're going to do a whole bunch of Christmas stuff, and we'll get a preview of what their program's going to be. So, Dominic, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Tom. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Now, I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about, the group as a whole. It seems like all of you guys are like, Broadway actors, and you've been in various sorts of, 50s jukebox musicals like Bronx Tale, Jersey Boys, Motown, the musical, that kind of thing. And you all somehow got together and said, "Hey, this is fun stuff. We enjoy doing it. Can we make a group out of this and go on the road and do this?" Am I anywhere as close to how you got together?
Totally. That's it. Yeah. I mean, Jersey Boys was the first. A lot of us met, the nucleus of the group met on Jersey Boys. I was lucky enough to be in the original cast, so I got to kind of see that become what it became, from this little show that we did in San Diego at the La Jolla Playhouse, knowing that it was going to transfer. And, I think New York, I think we were optimistic that New York would embrace it. But for it to become this mega musical that it became was certainly not what anybody's mind or agenda at the time. So we knew there's an appetite for this kind of nostalgia. We know that we're qualified to sing it and to perform it and to elevate it and to carry it forward.
Now, just out of curiosity, I mean, it's looking at you and the other members of the group, you're obviously not of that generation, but you've adopted that music and made it your own. What did you find so exciting about it that made you think, "Oh, we could really carry this forward and entertain people with it"?
I've always considered myself like a greaser, even though like I grew up in California in a kind of a beach town right outside of San Francisco. I was educated in the actual city, but we lived in a bedroom community. And, I didn't grow up I grew up in a car culture though. Where guys worked on their cars. And when there's guys in their driveways working on their cars, there's music playing usually when that's happening. And a lot of it was this sort of 50s nostalgia stuff mixed in with 70s rock too. But there was a lot of quote unquote oldies music. And, just growing up in the 80s, all the filmmakers like Rob Reiner, Marty Scorsese, all those people, they're using songs from their youth in their movies, so we always talk about how movies sort of influenced us and introduced us to this timeless music as well.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that you mentioned that about car culture because, my brain automatically jumps to Beach Boys, Jan and Dean in the car culture of the West Coast California, as opposed to, doo-wop, although it was attached to car culture. You take a look at some of the songs and you can, get that sense of, 57 Chevys and everything running around all over the streets of New York, Brooklyn, the Bronx, all of that. That's where I grew up. So, to me, it has that sort of nostalgia to it. Um, Did you, when you were, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you're the Frankie Valli voice?
No, I played Frankie Valli on Broadway. I covered that role, but I was really a Tommy for a long time. I
Ah,
played Tommy. So I let the guys who actually were cast as Frankie do that in the show. We have these two guys in the group, Russell Fisher and John Michael Diaz, and they both played Frankie for a long time. And some of them, Russell still goes off and does regional productions now too. He gets calls to do it. Um, and so I let them handle the Frankie Valli falsetto, though I have been known to, when called upon, to get up there and do my thing with that range.
and what kind of training did you have to get to be able to do that? That's a high range. I used to do when I was 17, I used to do Frankie Valli, but I couldn't do Frankie Valli now if you paid me $17 million. dollars.
Well, I mean, if you could do it then, you might be able to do it now. It's that sort of a thing. Like, none of us in the beginning, when the show first started, nobody had any idea how you were supposed to do this. You just tried to do it, you
Ah,
know. I mean, I had formal voice lessons. I studied at the Boston Conservatory for musical theater.
mhm.
I studied to do Broadway shows to I was trained to carry the workload of 8 shows a week, but no one was really prepared. I think Frankie sings 29 songs in Jersey Boys, and no, not full songs, but when it's all said and done, he sings a lot, and no one really could handle that load, which is how I got a job initially covering 3 out of the 4 seasons.
Ah,
You know,
okay. Yeah.
so there's always been guys that do it in the matinees and guys that do it in the evening, and they kind of figured that out early on as the show was running.
Yeah, so you just make a rotation so it doesn't wear out any one particular
Right.
actor.
Exactly. Although there are the guys that are designated to do it, and they did it at least 6 to 7, 8 times a week if the other covers weren't feeling well. I know I did 6 Frankies at least a couple times, covering vacations and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a muscle. You got to work it. You got to prep. You got to be feeling good too. You know, you can't be, it's not a role you can squeak by on, you know.
No, oh no. No, not at all. So listen, you're coming to the Rockefeller Arts Center and you're bringing a Christmas show. And I know that, a lot of groups like you that tour around always have a Christmas show. What kinds of things have you done with the standard Christmas music to sort of give it that doo-wop flavor?
Well, there's a couple of like already existing songs that are kind of doo-wop Christmassy, like the Drifters version of White Christmas, which we
Hmm.
do, which is very doo-woppy, very Frankie Valli-esque actually.
Hmm.
Um, and then we also do Doo-Wop Christmas, which is a like a Bruce Sedano, I think, wrote that with like Kenny Vance and Johnny Gale. They're doo-wop guys. So that's already got like a doo-wop feel. Then we take some Motown Christmas covers that sort of are, Motown really grew out of doo-wop too,
Yes, it did. Yeah. Hmm.
Smokey and the Miracles were originally sort of doo-woppy, before it moved kind of more into R&B. So we do like the Temptations, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which is sort of doo-woppy. And then we do a Brooklyn Bridge, a Johnny Maestro, the Cress. He had
Yes.
this group called the Brooklyn Bridge after the Cress, and he has a great kind of doo-woppy Christmas tune that not a lot of people know called A Christmas Serenade. We do that. And then we do some more kind of like contemporary songs like This Christmas, like Donny Hathaway, but we arrange it as a doo-wop song. So it has doo-wop sensibilities.
You guys are actually very good at taking modern songs and giving them a doo-wop flavor. I mean, I saw a video you do Friends in Low Places,
Right.
Garth Brooks number. You do the
Yeah.
doo-wop version of that. It's really interesting. Is your arranger Sonny, I believe is his
Yeah,
name?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Sonny we work with Sonny, he goes away, he brings in what we talked about, and then we go, oh, okay, yeah, that's good. No, that's not good. There's too many voices on that. And then we edit it down again. And then Dwayne, who's our bass, he'll be at the show in Fredonia.
Okay.
He's kind of gifted. He has perfect pitch. And he helps with arrangements too. He has ideas, so he'll email Sonny ideas, and we'll all get together and talk about it. You know.
Do you are you bringing anything that's just like straight doo-wop and mixing it into the show, or is
Yeah,
it
the show won't be all Christmas.
okay?
You know, it'll be like 30% regular doo-wop too. It'll be Whispering Bells by the Dell Vikings. We'll probably do Come Go With You by the Dell Vikings too, which we love. We love the Dell Vikings. They're our favorite.
They're very good, yeah.
We just love their songs and how they've been used in film, and so we all kind of have a nostalgic. There's a lot of Stand By Me, which is a big movie for our generation.
Oh yes, uh-huh.
Right, Rob Reiner, right, who I mentioned before. That's a movie that's laden with doo-wop like
Yeah.
tunes in there, you know.
Yeah. For me, it was American Graffiti. I remember
Another
when that,
one, yeah.
that came out, and that entire score was so much doo-wop and oldies music like that. My God, Richie Valens and all of that 50s doo-wop sound,
Car culture, right?
Mm.
California car culture, yep.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
Modesto, not too far from where I grew up in San Francisco,
Uh-huh.
So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the show won't be just doo-wop. We'll do like a Amy Winehouse kind of cover that we doo-wopify a little bit. Valerie. It's really a nice mix. And what's fun about our show is it's multi-generational, like you could come, you could bring your son, and your son could bring his kid, and
Wow.
everybody would have a good time. You know what I mean?
I mean, you guys project a lot of energy. I mean, and not only do you do the songs, all of the doo-wop songs and so on and so forth, you guys even got the choreography going on, which I really love.
Well, we're Broadway guys, so we move, some of us better than others, but I keep up, and yeah, and we enjoy. I mean, we're a rehearsed act, we're an act, we rehearse,
Sure.
we memorize, a lot of people show up for these kinds of shows and they're winging it. That's not what you're going to get with our show, and that's why the presenter at Fredonia brought us back.
Yeah.
Because
Because you guys are really good. I know you've been here before.
Mhm.
For yourself, you do this, but you also have a Broadway career. How do you handle going in and out of, being a part of the doo-wop group, and then, handling, the possibility of nailing down a Broadway role or being in a show or whatever? What's that like for you?
It's a balance, and we're 15 years in, and it's gotten easier the longer we've been a thing. And I remember like the first year we got like 60 gigs, and then I booked a Bronx Tale, and I had been working on a Bronx Tale in development too, so I kind of knew it was looming. But the one year where the guys who didn't have a Broadway show lined up were like, sweet, this is better than a Broadway show. I only have to do this 2 times a week. You know what I mean? So then I went off and I went and did Bronx Tale, and I have a sub. We all have subs that are our friends from Broadway that we met doing Jersey Boys, Motown, or Bronx Tale, or Hairspray, or one of the big shows that we've all been associated with, and they have the same ethic and training that we do, and they just kind of we put them in, and it's the same guys now that we've had for 5-10 years.
Well, I was just going to ask you that. There's probably now a collection of people on Broadway, and they specialize in doing these, running in and out of these doo-wop shows, because these things can run forever, really.
It's been huge. It's been a huge part of our careers. I mentioned John. He's one of the Frankies, but he was also in Beautiful for a long time. Dwayne did Hairspray and then did Motown. Charles was Tony nominated as Smokey Robinson in Motown, and he's done a bunch of shows after. And so he comes and goes, but his sub is this guy Jesse Nager, who was in Motown with us, and I've known since college. And so it's a small, the people with the skill set who can learn the harmonies, who can pick up the moves, and they pop in and we make it work. The hardest thing about the doo-wop project is logistics. Is just lining everybody's time up. We got to rehearse, we got to brainstorm a new show, and so we have a manager now who's great, Jared Miller, our manager, and he keeps us kind of on task, and it's really a blessing though, this little thing.
Do you ever look to do something outside of all of this? Perhaps a show on Broadway that has that's legit, that has nothing to do with doo-wop.
Oh, we would love that. Yeah. I mean, this is fantastic and it's like a warm blanket to come home to, but variety is the spice of life. Dwayne just did Sweeney Todd,
Oh,
and then he did Floyd Collins, which is at Lincoln Center, which is sort of an obscure musical. This is hard music.
yeah,
This is doo-wop triads.
yeah.
This is hard Sondheim tricky stuff. Dwayne. So yeah, but being on stage as much as we're on stage helps the audition process, helps when we jump into these shows. It hasn't been 5 years since we've been on a stage. We're constantly on stages, working with symphony orchestras, all the things.
Have you gone through any periods of dry spells or anything like that where you haven't had anything booked and you were like a lot of Broadway actors wondering where your next meal was going to come from?
Absolutely. Every Broadway actor has that story. Even the ones that are the gypsy dancers that go from show to show. It's never seamless. Sometimes it is, but it's very rare. I had a very nice run of 3 shows like back to back. Jersey Boys, and while I was doing Jersey Boys, we're developing Motown, and while I was in Motown, we're developing A Bronx Tale. And then after that, I'm like, okay, well, what's my next one? And then Bronx Tale ended, and I went back to Doo-Wop Project, and nothing.
Mm.
So we're getting older, things change.
Hmm.
There's not as many jukebox shows now. That's kind of run its course a little bit,
Hmm.
all those things. So that's why having this is so important and so wonderful and rewarding, because we are the producers of this. We own it. We're the captain of this ship. And so it's nice.
Yeah, I imagine it's got to be nice. Well,
So
listen, you guys are gonna you've just had an album released in October. Is that going to be available for people to pick up or anything along those lines at the concert?
we'll sell our Christmas album, and we'll sell our new album, Echoes of the Street, and we'll have some of the songs from Echoes of the Street, that album, incorporated into the show as well, into the Christmas show.
Great, great, wonderful, great, great. All
Yeah.
right. Well, listen, Dominic, thank you for giving me some of your time. I appreciate it. I know these things are pretty popular around here, and we'll glad to have you back. We'll be glad to have the Doo-Wop Project back anytime it wants to come. So you guys are
Thanks so much.
fantastic.
I can talk to you all day, man. Thank
Uh,
you for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, Dominic, take care now. A Doo-Wop Christmas will be in the King Concert Hall at the Rockefeller Arts Center on Thursday, December 11th at 7:30 p.m. For tickets, call the RAC box office at 716-673-3501 Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 to 3, or go online at www.fredonia.edu/tickets. Here is the arts calendar for November 26th through December 10th, 2025. Events at the SUNY Fredonia School of Music include performances by the Fredonia Jazz Flextet, the Fredonia University Chorus, the Fredonia Chamber Orchestra, and the Fredonia Holiday Chorale Concert. For more information on these and other events, click on the link at the bottom of the show notes for the School of Music listings. The final Songwriter Circle Series for 2025 will take place at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts on Thursday, December 18th at 7:30 p.m. Featured songwriters include Molly Conrad, Brooks Surgener, and Rob Lytle. Tickets are $10 and are available online at lakeshorecenterforthearts.com or at the door. Faces of Ukraine, the photography of Patrick Stowe's, will have an opening reception at the Darwin Barker Library on Thursday, December 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. Patrick's photographs will be on display at the library from December 4th through December 31st. And remember, if you have an arts event you'd like mentioned on the arts calendar, please contact us at the Opera House at 716-679-1891 or email us at operahouse@fredopera.org. Please give us at least a month's notice in advance of your event to ensure a timely listing. Also, a reminder to consider becoming a member of the 1891 Fredonia Opera House. Without the generous support of our members and donors, we would not be able to present the events and concerts that we do. Your membership is critical to making it possible to bring the arts to the Northern Chautauqua region, and we are grateful for every single member. Membership has its benefits, so consider joining today by clicking the link at the bottom of the show notes and choosing your level of membership. Opera House memberships also make excellent holiday gifts for your family and friends, so consider the gift of membership this holiday season. And thank you.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt!
My lord, I think I saw your father yesternight.
Would the night would come! Mark me! Something is rotten in the state of my mother!
My lord, this is strange!
There are more things in heaven and earth, so pistol! To be or not to be, that is the great get it to a no! Speak the speech, trippingly on the tongue.
You are the plague!
I'll take the ghost word for £1,000. Now, mother, what's the matter?
Murder me! Help!
How now, a rat? Dead for a ducat, dead!
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper?
Where's my father?
Dead!
Sweet Ophelia!
Alas, poor Yorick, but soft, here comes the queen!
Lay her in the earth!
Sweets to the sweet!
Hold off the earth a while!
It is I, omelette, the cheese, Danish!
The devil take thy soul!
Give us the foils!
Run for me!
I
am slain!
I am poisoned! I follow thee, the rest is silence!
What started out as an improvised show for Renaissance festivals has turned into one of the most widely produced Shakespeare-themed plays of the past 25 years. The Department of Theater and Dance is producing the complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged, December 4th through 7th in the Bartlett Theater at the RAC. Talking with me about the show in this interview are three members of the production team. Well, if you are interested in a night of William Shakespeare, the bard himself, as well as a night of hilarity, all combined into one evening of theater, you would do yourself a favor by going to see the complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged at the Bartlett Theater at the Rockefeller Arts Center at Sudi Fredonia. It's playing December 4th through 7th, and with me are a few members of the production team. I have with me Faith Ray. Faith is the stage manager for the production. Hello, Faith. I have also with me Ryan Okun. He's a member of the cast. Ryan, welcome.
Hello there.
And also with me is Jess Lustig. Jess is the costume designer, and I think she's going to tell us a little bit more about the set and all of that kind of stuff. So, Jess, welcome as well.
Hello.
All right, great. Faith, we're going to start with you since you have the most massive job of all. It's your job to keep all these crazy elements together and in one piece. And so I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about the play itself, the complete works of Shakespeare, and sort of how you think it's being approached.
Yeah, so the original script has 6 actors trying to combine all 37 Shakespeare works into one 90-minute play. So we have our 6 actors. We have 3 male presenting and 3 female presenting. So we kind of have split up the show so everyone gets their own piece of it, and it all kind of balances out in the end into a fun parody-filled night.
It was quite a hit when it first came out. I mean, this show has been around for a long time. As I believe it made its hit at the Edinburgh Film Festival in the late '90s, as I recall. So it's been around quite some time. Do you find, Faith, any kind of has the play aged well or poorly, or what's your opinion of what you see going on the stage?
So our director actually, he took the script and kind of rewrote it for a more this time period. So nothing was too offensive, too out of date. So when it was originally written back then, it was only for 3 actors. So our director, in order to make more space for the main stage productions, split those into 6. So it's not, we can't really tell how it's aged because it has been rewritten for our school and our production, but I think it's been rewritten well.
Oh, so it's kind of like a more modern adaptation then. Mr. Paul has used his creativity to give us something a little bit more modern.
I can actually speak to how it's aged.
Please do that, Jess.
This is actually my 3rd time working on complete works. I did it first as a scenic designer circa 2000 or 2001. Then I designed a touring production of it for a youth tour in about 2014, and now I'm working on it now. And so the first time it was originally written for 3 men, so there were a lot of gender specific jokes that would not fly with a contemporary audience. And so I think, and there's other jokes that could definitely be like Othello was a rap originally, and that would not fly with a cast of all white actors doing Othello as a rap today.
Okay.
So a lot of the gender jokes that were considered funny in 2000 would not be considered funny now and have been written out of it, partly just by casting, because we have 3 female presenting cast members. And then a lot of the jokes that were considered funny in 2000 but would be more racist then, but now we know them, we know better, so do better.
Okay.
Have also been written out of it.
So let me ask you a question then, Jess. Has anybody talked to or have the original gentlemen from the Reduced Shakespeare Company, have they said anything about all of this in terms of people rewriting their show? Because I can't imagine that the actors who created it originally haven't realized that the times have changed. So I'm guessing they must have done something to allow way more freedom to be able to do this.
I think the nature of the piece does have a lot of freedom because it was originally done as an improv sketch at like Ren fairs. And so it was originally an improv piece that then got solidified into a script that went to Edinburgh. And then that script has gone to, various production companies. But because it has its origins in improv, production companies have a lot of freedom with what they can do with it.
Oh, that's great. Okay. All right. Nothing like a little freedom and an attempt to bring it up to contemporary standards. Ryan, let's talk to you. This is a madcap adventure for an actor. When you read the script and got cast in it, what were some of the thoughts going through your head as you began to think about how you were going to approach all this?
Well, first I thought this is going to be a crazy ride. That's what I'll say. Just reading it, and knowing I'm gonna get to work with this amazing cast and Mr. Paul, I think I was definitely up for the task. Definitely. I think this show having 37 plays from Shakespeare in it, there's so many gags, props, different costumes, so many different like things happening all at once. Like the crowd is never gonna be without something to see. I definitely was very excited for this being my senior show. Definitely excited about it. Yeah.
Which of the piece there's so many different pieces. Which ones are you concentrating on?
So I play Romeo, Macbeth, Hamlet, and I also play myself, which is also really cool. I also play Titus Andronicus. I play a lot more, but those are the main ones I play, and it's been a lot of fun.
In a way, though, it's really you're not really playing Hamlet. You're playing Ryan playing Hamlet in a sense, right? Because I know that there's no fourth wall. The audience is contacted. Everybody talks to the audience all the time. Things get explained. And to a large degree, the cast is self-conscious about what they do. I think the actors are. And I'm wondering if that makes a difference in how you approach playing something like, Hamlet or Macbeth or those characters.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, definitely being Ryan playing Hamlet or Romeo and seeing the audience is definitely going to change every night. And I think that's what's really cool about the show is that when you go to see it, the Romeo that will be playing will be totally different depending on the audience because Ryan's going into it, I'm going to try to get Juliet, but maybe the audience is really more engaged that one night or they're booing me or anything could really happen with the show. And I think that's why it's so much fun. And I think going about it as an actor, I think it's such a challenge. But I definitely am learning a lot about how do I play it? How do I play Romeo or Hamlet? While also breaking that fourth wall with the audience and they know it's me. So it's really cool. It's really a lot of fun.
That's great. Listen, I'm just gonna tip you off to one thing, okay? If you happen to see me in the audience, I don't want to play Bob.
Okay, okay.
Okay? Don't pick me to play Bob, please.
I got you. I got you.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Jessica, this is a show that like is prop heavy, it's costume heavy. Costumes are changing at the blink of an eye. There's wigs, there's this, there's that. How is the production team handling all of those things?
So everything was designed with the thought that it needs to be light and quick. And so scenically, there's a unit set that is a nod to the Globe Theater, but is a little off kilter. So it's the Globe, but not.
Okay.
And then as far as costumes go, there's a base costume that is quite detailed and quite involved that they wear for the entire show. They don't change that. And then when they change characters, they just add bits and pieces on top of that base costume. So that makes the changes much, much faster because they're not changing whole looks. They're just adding a wig and a hat, a robe, a mask. So they stay themselves throughout, just like Ryan was saying. It's the actor playing, and so it's a base look playing. So there's no attempt to do full costume changes or to disguise who the actor underneath is. And then the way lighting took it is that the lighting is quite presentational. It's not naturalistic lighting. Everything is either quite brightly lit, so you're seeing all the action, but then when there's moody, like there's a lot of film references in it, and so it'll switch from being like full light, see everything, to like very cinematic lighting, but it's never natural. It's always presentational.
Okay, yeah. So in other words, we're not expected to believe that we're watching a real production or a real scene from Hamlet or Macbeth.
No.
We're okay.
No, at all times we are aware.
Okay, all right.
And the other is like that's part of like the modernization of it too, is that it's all references. So for example, King Claudius's crown is a Burger King crown that we've turned inside out and decorated with gems, but we've left the inside still with the Burger King logo.
Oh, tough, of course.
And then like Queen Gertrude's crown is a Glinda the Good crown made out of silver pipe cleaners. So they have like contemporary references. There's nods to past productions, like Cressida's wig is one of the stepsister wigs from Into the Woods. And so there's both jokes that are culturally relevant broadly enough that the whole audience will get them, like Burger King and Glinda the Good. And then there's in-jokes that the student audience is going to go, oh my God, I know that show. Like we've pulled so many pieces from past Tada productions that audiences who have been to past productions will be able to point and go, oh, I know that piece.
Oh, that's wonderful. Listen, you got to just one more question. I need to know. Did you get the ubiquitous PF flyers for the actors? The sneakers?
Oh, yes. Sorry, the Converse.
Yes, the Converse. Thank you. The Converse.
Yes, they are. I mean, they're Amazon knockoff Converse.
Okay.
We don't have that kind of money, but yes, they are in Converse.
Yeah, Converse are a little expensive. Faith, let me ask you from a technical point of view, what's been the biggest challenge for you in terms of getting all the technical elements together as you see the show? There must be, hundreds of cues to call and all of that kind of stuff. How is that all being integrated at this point?
Well, our first tech rehearsal is tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But leading up to it, we've been very big on preparing all of our paperwork, making sure we know where all the props are going, all the costumes, all the light cues. We at least have those listed, and tonight we'll try to incorporate some of that.
Faith, tell me, what is the fastest time that the cast has done the reverse Hamlet portion?
Oh boy. I think they've gotten it down to I believe it was under a minute, under 45 seconds last couple times we've done it. So they've gotten it down pretty fast.
At Crew View, it was like 48 seconds.
Wow, 48 seconds. What are you shooting for, Ryan?
Not even that, even quicker. We're trying to get this done as fast as it can. I mean, like this will be the most fast thing we will try to do every night. We're gonna try to get faster and faster and faster. So
You think you can get it in under 30?
we can try.
Well, keep at it, man. That's all I can say. Keep at it because it's a really fun show. And if you can get it done in under 30 seconds, that's going to be something that's really going to bring the house down at the end of the show. Listen, everybody, I want to thank you for a wonderful interview. I had a great time talking to all of you about this show. I've seen this show, I think maybe about 3 times myself. I've directed the production of it way back in 2005. So, it's if you're into Shakespeare, it's really kind of one of the ways to take Shakespeare and just sort of turn it on its head and not take it so seriously. And I think that that's what the audience is going to enjoy. So thank you very much. I wish you best of luck in the run, and don't get crazy, and make sure you keep on your toes during the Thanksgiving break, because when you come back, there's no holds barred.
Oh, it's going to be a grand old time when we come back from Thanksgiving break.
I'll bet. All right, listen, have a good holiday, you guys. Have a good Thanksgiving break, and I'm sure we'll be able to see the show when we come back. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged will be performed on Thursday through Saturday, December 4th through 6th at 7:30 p.m., with matinees on December 6th and 7th at 2 p.m. For ticket information, call the campus box office at 716-673-3501, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 3, or go online at www.fredonia.edu/tickets. And that's it for this mince pie edition of Notes from the Aisle Seat. My thanks to Gaitrie Subryan, Reese Holahan, Dominic Nolfi, Faith Ray, Ryan Okun, and Jesica Lustig for being my guests on this episode. Notes from the Aisle Seat is a production of the 1891 Fredonia Opera House in Fredonia, New York. For more information on any of the Opera House's events, call the box office at 716-679-1891, visit the website at www.fredopera.org, or email at operahouse@fredopera.org. Notes from the Aisle Seat is available wherever you get your podcasts and also on the Opera House YouTube channel. If you like this podcast, please consider following us by clicking the follow button on our home website at aisleseat.podbean.com and spreading the word through your social media feeds. If you have an arts event you'd like featured on the podcast, why don't you drop us a line at operahouse@fredopera.org, and we'll see about featuring your event. Please try to give us a month's notice in advance if possible to facilitate timely scheduling. If you have any suggestions, comments, or criticisms of the podcast, just drop us a line at operahouse@fredopera.org. We'll be glad to receive your feedback. Our next episode will be available on Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. I'm Tom Laughlin, and until then, be safe out there, and be kind to one another.